What's going on, ladies and gents? Dalibor here for T3G, and welcome to Tech Monday. Today we're doing the best CES 2018 tech. Now, last week we did the worst, well, not worst, rather weirdest, and it's just stuff I wanted to talk smack about. Today we're doing what is, in my opinion, the best tech from CES 2018 coming up. Come on. Now, you'll have to forgive me. I am recording this for the second time because my computer crashed for some reason, and then it ran 37 updates for some reason. So we're gonna knock out a few of these real quick, as I've already talked about them a little bit. You guys just haven't seen that yet. So the first thing we're talking about is the Viral Light. It is a viral. Dang it! It's hard to talk when it's cleverly worded. It is a wired cam system that is intended for everything from a GoPro to mirrorless. At 3.3 pounds, I feel like it could probably hold a DSLR, but I would not push that personally. But the idea is that you can get these crazy shots with this. I'm gonna mute that. That you can get these just insane shots that you could never get with just handheld or just a drone. Like with this, you can run a drone through that. It'd have to be a really small drone, so the picture quality would be terrible. There's limitations to everything, and this, I think, fills a gap, and I think would be an incredible tool for budget filmmakers. Next, we're gonna be talking about Trek. Now, I have reached out to Grip Gear, I think. Grip Gear Movie Maker. Let's see if it loads this time. Nope, still not loading for some reason. But it is a motorized slider, so I already understand the concept of this. But what I think Trek does differently is it has other features. For instance, it has circular tracks and it has adjustable tracks, so you could do different type of things. So with something like that tree situation that Viral did, you could do, kind of a zigzag pattern, or snake through stuff with a smaller camera on something like this. Granted, it would take a lot of track, but conceivably you could execute some really cool stuff, including circular hands and circular time lapses. I think this just brings a really cool concept and a really cool opportunity to the space. Again, I think it would fill that little bit of a gap in the space for budget movie makers. Next, we're going to talk about the Scully Phoenix AR. This is something that I came up with in my retail job about 10 years ago. I had a guy come through, he had a helmet, and it just came to me right then and there. I was like, what if, would it be useful to you if you could see your speed and things like that while you're driving without having to look down? He's like, yeah, that'd be incredible. That's 100% of the goal is to keep your eyes on the road as much as possible. So if there was a way to do that, you should do that. And I was like, fair enough. And I had no way to execute it. I still technically don't really know how this thing works, but it gives you 180 degrees vision behind you in your blind spot, so you have great visibility. You also have a heads-up display. There's voice control, navigation support, which is huge. I think this is very well could be a lifesaver for some people. Next, which is where I stopped before, is the Project Linda from Razer. This is something that's very similar to the MiraBook that I talked about a few weeks ago. This is essentially a dock for your mobile phone, specifically in this case the Razer phone, and it essentially turns that into a desktop, laptop desktop experience. But what I think is really cool is that the phone itself then becomes a trackpad or a secondary display. Whereas before, you could have the phone kind of laying next to it with the MiraBook. I think this is really cool in that it actually gives you that interwoven, interconnected experience between the two. What I think is important to look at here, what I think this should do is I think this should inspire every single developer, every single manufacturer to do this for their phones. Samsung already did, they had that little circle dock thing. I think they need to push that really hard. I think they need to look at this and build. Take the Samsung Chromebook, pull out the trackpad, put a Galaxy S10 or 12 or whatever the next phone is. Do that. Everyone should do this, and everyone should bust it out at an affordable price. I think the MiraBook's $250, and I think that is a perfect price point. It is a high-end accessory, but it is essentially, you're already building these things. You're just ripping out the guts, so it's cheaper to make than a $200, $300 Chromebook. So you're already doing all the things. You put a little bit nicer screen into it. You put maybe backlighting in the keyboard. It would not be that expensive to make. and I think it would be a great accessory. I mean, I've very much come around on the concept of using your phone as a desktop experience, just because, as I talked in my remix video, remoting in. So if you have your desktop set up at home with all the good things, you hook up, you have now a 13-inch screen, and you can actually properly remote in instead of having to, you know, I mean, I can remote in from my Pixel into this computer, but I don't unless I absolutely have to. But if I had a 13-inch display, you bet your life I would. So that's that. I think that's cool. I hope this comes out. I hope it comes out at a similar price point. I know chroma keys make things more expensive, but whatevs. Now, next, I want to talk phone. I want to talk about the Vivo X Play 7. I think there was a lot of talk when the iPhone 10 was coming out that, oh, there's going to be an under the screen, but then people were saying they're not going to be able to execute it fast enough, and we ended up with a non-fingerprint reader iPhone, which is whatever. I don't really use iPhone, so I don't fault you if you do, but I personally do not. I do love the idea of an under-screen fingerprint reader. Primarily, it forces you to innovate and forces you to be incredibly accurate, because if it's inaccurate or if it's not perfect, you're gonna have issues. I appreciate that these guys went out there and did it first, and it took that risk, because this could not do well. I watched a video with Linus Tech Tips. They actually got to experience it. They showed off some really like super close close-ups. It looks good. It looks good. It's hard to tell it's there unless you're kind of really heavy angle, but then who cares? You're not looking at your phone at a really heavy angle. But yeah, I think that's really, really cool. I think the technology at play is cool. I don't really care about this phone. They're like, oh, nearly 100% bezel. Who cares? I really could not care less about bezel-less. As long as I can use the phone, as long as it's practical, I don't care. So that aspect, who cares? 10 gigs of RAM, monster. Now, if these guys took that 10 gigs of RAM and you were able to put another $250 into a dock, a 13-inch dock, or even a 12-inch, 11-inch dock, think about the amount of stuff, like 4K display. So this potentially does have a ton of power to begin with. So if you dock it, now you have extra battery life and you have a bigger screen. Now you can execute some things, and then you can remote in. I mean, with 10 gigs of RAM, I feel like you could probably remote in, play some Overwatch. That's just me. Next, I want to talk about the coolest thing on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the first holodeck. This is a commercial. We're not gonna listen to that. But remember, if you guys know Star Trek, the holodeck is where they go in and they have these like full real life. It's technically, it would be AR simulations. It's not VR, because you're not. Yeah, I guess it would be VR. I don't know how it works. I feel like it's AR, because they are still physically confined to that space. It molds around them. It moves around. I don't know. In the comments below, is the holodeck AR or VR? You let me know. Anyway, this thing uses what looks like a holodeck grid system to present holographic images. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Look at everything that's happening right now. These are live 3D images. Incredible. I am 100% for this. I can't wait. I cannot wait for a practical application of something like this. I mean, just imagine. Instead of laser tag, you walk in and you have a medieval battle. You can fight along King Arthur, or go to war. Like you want On the Boots World War. You can have On the Boots World War in full immersive VR. Incredible. I'm so psyched about this technology. I can't even verbalize how much. Speaking of AR/VR, the Vuzix Blade, the world's first augmented reality smart glasses. I love the concept of having accessibility to all your stuff without having to try hard. If I wear glasses, I want to be able to, I've always wanted this, I want to be able to project onto the glasses, or however it works, I need to be able to look, because like right now in my glasses I see the entire 27-inch display. I should be able to project a 27-inch display and be able to interact with it with a keyboard or whatever sort of cell phone, whatever. Or if somehow magically possible, touch, like full on like Jarvis. But I think we're a bit far away from that, especially like with how much of that hologram required physically to project that stuff. But this is really cool because, again, you have that immersive stuff. You have the practicality of new technology and it being available in day-to-day use and really easy to use. So people who wear glasses would just wear the glasses, and then you're walking around and you're like, how do I get to whoever's house? Or how do I get, if you go to travel somewhere, you don't know where to go, you just say, hey, I need to go here. Boom, on screen, take a left here, take a right here. Or while you're driving, on like heads up display instructions. I think, again, this is the future. This is the way everything is gonna go, and I cannot be more excited about it. Next, I want to talk about theaters. Monster theaters with LED technology. No more of this projector nonsense. No, Samsung Cinema Screen, their components and their edge to edge, truly 100% bezel-less displays that can interlock and produce. There's not really an image here, but the Sony version, this is, how many do they say? This is 144 modules. There's 144 individual sections that all make this, I think they said 8K by 2K display. Now, Sony does it. The Sony article has a lot more interaction. That one looks like this is from last year too. But this is from this year. The cinema screen is from this year at CES. This one was 34 feet, and this was LED picture quality at 4K. The key thing here is that this is meant to replace projector screens in theaters. Now, the cool thing with that is you don't have to worry about, I'm pretty sure you eliminate the risk of fire due to projector bulbs and all that kind of stuff, but I also think you get incredibly better picture. I've been to many theaters where the light's not as bright. It's washed out. It's dull. No, this would be 100% crystal clarity. The blacks are supposed to be incredibly rich blacks, and yeah, I'm hyped about this. I think one day when, like, no one's gonna go there. No one's gonna get this yet. It's gonna be way too expensive. Your ridiculous theaters might get it, but the plebeians won't see it anytime soon. Plebeians, is that the word? I don't know. Anyway, the rest of us won't see it anytime soon. But I think having LED theaters, I think first of all it'll be like 3D. People, theaters are gonna bring it in slowly, and there'll be one LED screen, and you're gonna be able to pay $37 a ticket just to pay off the $3 million screen they put in. I think it might be worth it. It might be worth it for certain movies, but we'll see as it develops. Next, we're talking drones. I like drones. I really, really like drones. I talked about the Power Egg last week, which I found ridiculous and incredibly just unnecessary in so many ways. Now this, from what I can see here, this is the power rate from before, because what they had at CES looked different. Maybe they mislabeled it. So it appears that this is what it looks like. There was one that was maybe that's not the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Power Dolphin. Is that also one of theirs? Yeah, Power Vision has a lot of stuff going on, but the Power Dolphin, like, that thing looks dope. That thing looks super dope. I love the concept of drones. First of all, you're gonna get footage that you never could, especially without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And on top of that, the idea of water drones, super cool. Now, I've got some concerns about like reception, depth, definitely temperature. Like the ocean is colder than you might think. And depending on where you are in the world, what time of the year it might even be colder. But I think there's a lot of really cool potential with this. There's also the Poseidon 1, again, something that was shown at CES. This is the little image here. This is just video of somebody looking at it underwater. I like that it's connected, so that's cool. But it's got its own propulsion. It's got a gimbal on the front. I think you could do some really cool underwater stuff with this. So you don't have to, if you are not a good swimmer, but you've got some really cool ideas for some underwater footage, or if you've got some coral reef that you want to like check out, you don't want to go and physically disturb it, drop this bad boy in the water and take a look around. I think there's some real cool potential for just visuals, for cinematography, at the very least, for easy video shoots for small films or short films, something like that. Now the final bit here is a bit of a company spotlight. I want to talk about AEE. They seem to have come through real hard at CES 2018. Looking at their website, they've got some other stuff. They've got existing items. Looks like they've got some action cams and things like that. But and I'm interested in those. You know, I'm always interested to check out some action cams. But the big things I want to talk about are the drones they brought to CES. Boom, the Selfie. I think it's called, no, the Selfie. It is called the Selfie. I thought for some reason I thought there was an extra L. Anyway, it's a phone case that then in the case is a mini drone that you can just toss up. It'll take a selfie. It'll come back down. Ridiculous. That goes 100% to the concept of the best camera you have is the one that's available right now. You know, if you're out and about and you see something really cool and you're like, man, I wish I had a drone out. If you have it on your phone, you do have it, and it's just super cool. This one is not a case, but another selfie drone. It's called the Fareoh 360 selfie drone. I'm not sure why is it a 360? Let's take a look at the video. Let's look at the video. It looks like it's dual cam, so that would be cool. It's nice, it's little, it could be in a bag. It tried to go up her skirt apparently. That's not okay. But yeah, that's really cool. I like their bigger stuff. I'm pretty psyched about. Is it the Mach 2? Boom. The Mach 2, I'll talk about in a minute. They've got the Condor Elite, which looks, I'm going to say it looks like a Phantom comparison, a Phantom competitor. That's the word I'm looking for. The only difference being instead of permanent stationary legs, this has automatic landing gears. So that's cool. When it takes off, you could do a camera pan as opposed to just a drone turn. So you could hover and then pan the camera 360, which could potentially produce a little bit better results. But again, back to the Mach 2. This is clearly intended to be a Mavic competitor. Clearly, I mean, it's essentially the same dang drone for apparently south of $700, which means less than $700, which means probably $699. But still, the literal half price of a Mavic drone, potentially for the same quality. 4K resolution, motorized gimbal, foldable legs. Yeah, the only difference I'm seeing so far is that it may not have a screen, which you're going to be hooking up to a phone anyway, so I guess it's not that big a deal. And it looks like the mounting situation on the controller is a little different, but again, who cares? Yeah, I think there is huge potential here. I think if you get even 80% as good as the Mavic at half the price, monster, sold out. Yeah, that's the move. That I think is the biggest opportunity in the drone space, is to come in with quality under a budget. The biggest hang up for me for a drone for the longest time was the price. I mean, I'm 100% open about it. I did not purchase my drone. My mother-in-law did. God bless her. She decided to help me out, hook me up. And it was my birthday, Christmas, whatever present. And it's been so fun and it's been so helpful. You know, if it was $700, it would have been a considerably lower price point for me to look at. I know Hottest picked up his Phantom 3, I think, at about that price with an extra battery and stuff, because it was last year. You know, it was the previous model. There's rumors right now of a new Mavic coming out, or a new Mavic-ish, Mavic level, Mavic 2, whatever they're going to call it. I don't know if that's true, but, then now, 2 years after it's been out, maybe the original Mavic might drop to $600, $700, $800. But then you're working with old technology. If this is current technology, if this has really good reception, distance, and stabilization is another big, huge key, of course. If it has all those things at a base half price point of a Mavic, I think there's no competition. I think DJI is going to be cranking out more of those Airs, those Mavic Airs and those Sparks. From what I can see, DJI is trying to hit every single price point so that no one can compete with them, just on the basis that, well, you could just buy a DJI for the same price. So that's my 2 cents on that whole situation. But that's it for this one, folks. Appreciate you for watching. Make sure you guys check out Tech Monday next week. Of course, we got App Wednesday coming up. Thursday, new show, new-ish show, the return of some sort of content and new stuff also going forward. It's a very unique situation. Anyway, check out Thursday. Friday, of course, game video, and check out caffeine.tv/T3G Media. We are streaming and we're giving stuff away. And yeah, check it out. We'll see you in the next one.